Just to start off as well quickly, would it be possible, not as soon as possible, but possible at some point, to have like another interview as well, just to do some filming around this area
Of course.
like college and stuff,
no
and
problem
get
at
some
all.
stuff for our
Of course.
work. So the first question we have is, what kind of encourages students to take Maths and English here?
Not a lot. So I'd say probably 90, that might be a little bit high, but 80% of students don't want to do Maths and English here. They're forced to do it.
Right, okay.
It's part of the funding regulations that if you want to continue studying further education, you have to achieve your grade C or grade 4 in Maths and English by the time you leave. So that creates a lot of problems because a lot of students don't want to be there, which affects behaviour and attendance.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Some need it for progression. So some of them need it to go to university, and they generally are better behaved, but not always the case.
Yeah, if they kind of want to do it instead of...
Because they need it.
Yeah.
So what sort of success rates do you have coming out Maths and English?
We are better than the rest of the country,
Okay.
so we're above average. I couldn't give you the exact figures if they were going to be published. So before I gave them, I would have to get permission from the principal. I don't mind giving them, and I give them out all the time, but then I'm told off for doing that. But particularly in English, and I can tell you the increase has been absolutely immense, because it was a few years ago 3.8% for English, and it's now up in the 40s or near to 40%.
That's fair enough. The students that kind of choose Maths and English to go alongside their subject of choice, how is that kind of incorporated? Are there specific kind of aspects of the course that are pushed towards their other course, if that makes sense?
To try and make it relevant in a way.
Yeah.
We try that with a timetable. So Maths and English, obviously they don't choose it. They're told they have to do. Some choose, but very, very few. They have to do it, and the timetable is done so that they're in vocational areas, so that makes it a bit easier for planning. So as an example, for me, I teach a group, an art and media group. So when I'm delivering to them, I use quite a lot of visuals, so I use film clips in my delivery, whereas I won't use it so much with childcare, and some of the sources I might use are more linked towards the health and care sector. So we try and do that, but there's only so much you can do, because you have a huge spectrum of subjects that you have to get in 30 weeks, unlike schools where they have 2 years and the rest.
That was in very bad order. So you kind of began with saying how most students are kind of forced to do the course.
Yes, they are.
And that kind of raises negative connotations. How would you suggest, from your perspective, how we could like change that connotation and encourage more people to take it at will, if it makes sense?
Involving the students more.
Yeah.
So we've spoken a lot as a team, and all the teams across college, they've got what's called supported experiments, where we're supposed to try things. If it doesn't work, it falls flat on the face, we start off. But that's the whole idea. You can make mistakes and you can try again. So our focus, we decided a couple of weeks ago, was about student input and getting the students to be more involved in Maths and English. So one thing we were looking at is METIS, for example. I don't know if you know what METIS stands for, but that's all over college, and every student should know that that's our emblem for Maths and English. It's Maths and English, take it seriously, but nobody knows apart from us and some of the staff. We want that rebranding. So we want the students to take ownership, and we want them to design a new Maths and English. We love Maths and English.
Shove input at the forefront of all the other things.
Yes, rather than we're shoving. So we're saying you have to attend the lesson, you have to do this, and we're also going to be far more student focused in the sense that listening to students. So we are going to put a questionnaire out there to get students to tell us what they want from us for Maths and English, and to see how we can make it more focused around the student, rather than, I know you don't want to do it, I really don't care, sit down, learn, pass. And it's not working.
And also a more organic, natural feel to it, where the children...
Definitely. So we want to have a more positive vibe around Maths and English, instead of, I've got Maths next.
Yeah.
We want it to be more positive.
That's fair. And finally, the students that obviously do take Maths and English and perhaps like another subject, what career paths do you see them often
It's
taking?
right the way across college.
Right,
So Maths and English is added on, because we deliver Maths and English right the way from, we've got carpenters, bricklayers, caterers, art and media students, business students. It's right the way across. So they go into jobs. We do have most difficulties with attendance in those areas where they don't feel they need Maths and English for progression. So, you know, our attendance in the construction trades is appalling. It's the worst. Whereas attendance in, for example, business, where the majority of them need it to actually go and get a job, they need to have that grade 4. They're more likely to attend. So, yeah, so it does differ right the way across college. But you do have pockets where, it can differ. So it depends on the groups and group dynamics a lot as well.
That's fair enough.
I just want to add, is there any stipulations you have when it comes to filming and recording audio in classrooms or seminars?
Some students will need to be warned first that we're doing it, because we do speaking and listening, so which you probably did in school. Don't recognise your faces, so I don't think, are any of you doing English at the moment? No, didn't think I recognised any of your faces. So they have to do speaking and listening, and it's filmed. It has to be filmed. But in some circumstances, the students say no, they don't want filming, so we have to obviously honour that and write a statement.
So would you want us to give out letters of consent, or would you prefer just to...
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy, unless it's part of your course. Like I did look at your brief, and that wasn't on there. So I'm happy enough to to do that myself as well. So
we'll just work around it at some point. That's
all
right.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd want to ask us about what we're doing at the moment, or?
Yeah, I've read the brief, so which is really good as well. That's really good. So this is part of. So you've got to edit it, I presume. So you've got to create a film, you've got to edit it, and then what happens to it after that? Apart from it's one of your assignments.
So it goes onto Instagram, the college Instagram.
Okay.
And then it's an actual promotional thing for Maths and English,
which is fantastic, which
so
is exactly what we need.
So it's an actual proper corporate thing,
yes.
And it doesn't just go away, and that's actually going to be put out there.
Yeah. So whatever your intentions, whatever your feelings towards the advertising side of things, just let us know.
Yes.
Try and incorporate
it. I'd like it. It's something that can be flooded on the internet and what have you. Or, we have got a Facebook account of this college one. We have got a Twitter account, a Meta's Twitter account, but again, it's not used. No one looks at it. So there's things we need to develop in here as well. Yeah, that's fine.
So is there anything you majorly want us to get across in the video, and
For me, it's the importance of maths and English.
Yeah, it's a fundamental skill.
That's it. That no matter what career path you're going in, it'll be very unusual that it won't crop up. That you will have benefited from having done your maths and English in college, and a fun way of looking at it.
Yeah.
So take away the stipulations of this is what you must do, rather than this is what you can do, and you can put your own input into it and make it your own.
And this is what you could achieve at the end of it, and trying to make it a little bit more fun and a little bit more.
So you want more student interaction?
Oh, definitely, because at the moment they're forced to do it, and they're forced to sit down, and they're told off when they don't attend, and it's
Yeah, I just want, because obviously we want more students to be involved in it. So you said you're going to do questionnaires?
Yes,
Have you got an idea of when you're going to be...?
That won't be until probably after Christmas now, or nearer
so
on Christmas.
If we could do a questionnaire or focus group or something with a small group of students to see what their negatives with the course are, see what positives are, just things like that. Because then obviously we can see what the students think with it.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that we're not taking enough of the students' opinions on board. And I know we have Learner Voice, and I attend the Learner Voice meetings, but there's not many students there, and there's not the focus on maths and English. So it would be good for students to get student feedback, because then there's not that. Lisa's given me a questionnaire. How would she want me to answer it? So that'll take that away. So student to student, I think, would be far more effective. There are things as well that we can do college-wide. So if you didn't just want to do focus group, you could hit the whole of the college with a questionnaire. With the system, so it come onto the systems.
My CCI, is there anything we can incorporate with that when it comes to things like
Yes,
questionnaires?
it can be. When we do the questionnaires, though, and when we do them ourselves, when you've had them, and they're often just clicked on. That's the only thing I would say there. So care needs to be taken, that people will just click on them because they just want to get them over and done with, so they can start on their assignment or what have you. So it might be better it coming from students. But that's something that you could actually do a trial of both, and
see what
because if it goes onto the systems, they'll automatically presume it's coming from.
Of course. You mentioned you had a Meta's Twitter and all things like that. Would we possibly be able to interact with that in any way during the production?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Okay. Yeah, 100%.
I'm all questioned out, so.
Yeah, I think we've got everything for now.
So you level 3 year ones, or level 3? Yeah, you're level 3 year ones, the first year in college, right? Okay.
Yeah, just did 2 years of sixth form now, kind of. Here to do this, so it's a bit different.
Is it?
Yeah.
better, worse? I know they're slightly off this.
Oh no, so
different.
It's different. Well, because it's got its positives and it's got its negatives, which are different from school. Obviously, school. I went to St John Payne.
Yes.
So I stayed there at sixth form as well. So all the teachers knew me, knew my strengths, weaknesses, and it felt more like a, you were.
And you've been there as well since you were.
Everything. So if something was up,
13,
the teacher knew how to do it. Whereas here, it's like there's such a big group of people, one teacher. Whereas at sixth form, I'm taking 3 subjects.
Yes.
Everything. So it gets a bit weird.
Yeah, there's not as many people chasing you, I would imagine, for work.
Yeah. The layout's definitely different as well. Much more freedom here than there was at.
Yes.
You just know the layout here compared to like school and sixth form.
Oh yeah, it's just much more freedom, which can be obviously more freedom, but then it's like we're not to a schedule. Like there's not such a schedule, which sometimes affects work and things like that.
Well, that will impact on maths and English as well, because like you said, there's a lot more freedom, and it's very much, I'd say this to parents at least once a week, that at the age of 16 they're now young adults, that they have to make the decision, we can only do so much, you need to attend.
A lot of people as well, if they have the choice not to attend,
they don't. They don't.
You've mentioned that it was 16 starting, so what actually is the age range you find?
The majority is 16 to 19 in this college. We do have adult learners as well, but there's only a couple of hundred of them. Right. So the main 2,000 students are 16 to 19. So, but the majority of them need maths and or English.
It's a mandatory need rather than a optional vocational.
Yeah, it's mandatory, but it's really scary that we'll have 2,000 students, and out of them, 1,400 of them need maths and or English. So that's huge. So we actually have more students that need to do maths and English than don't.
Yeah.
This may sound like a bit of a strange question, and I think I know the answer. But maths and English, they don't have to do both, do they?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
And in the same year.
Oh, okay.
And in the same year. So that's government rules.
Is that even if you pass one and fail the other, is a mandatory, you have to take both?
No, you only do the one. So, so you either do one or two that you... So if you haven't achieved the grade 4 in both, you do both of them. And again, it would be good if you're on a 2-year programme that we concentrate and focus and put more hours into one and do the second year, but we're not allowed to. Funding dictates that we have to do both in the same year. Okay. So if you're doing a level 3 programme or level 2 programme, you'll do that alongside maths and English in some cases. So it's quite a lot of work. It's a lot.
I assume some students probably find it overwhelming.
Yes, well, it's an extra day in college, so it's an extra day. Yeah. So we do functional skills and GCSE depending on what level and the skills the learners have got when they come in. GCSE, each subject's 3 hours a week, and functional skills is 2. So if you were doing a functional skills and a GCSE, it's an extra 5 hours on top of your timetable. So it is quite a lot to then fit in as well. It affects working, on the ability to not be able to get a job on that other day as well. So,
I think that might be it for now.
So when do you want to catch up again?
Probably, I'd say...
over the next week or two.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine.
Let us get our kind of bearings of what we're doing.
Here's Anna. Sorry, I should have asked your names right at the beginning as well. I introduced everyone in the staff room and didn't introduce... Anna, these are the students who are doing the filming that you kind of know a little bit about. So who are you? Sorry, I should have...
I'm Jacob.
Really rude. Jacob.
I'm Paige.
Paige.
Yeah, there is another girl with us, but she was late this morning because her bus and stuff. Okay. But that's Annie, and she should be with us next time.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. So we've had a chat about maths and English and why students do it, and the fact that it's not a choice, which they weren't sure about. Yeah, and that's half our problem.
Are any of you doing maths and English?
No, so they don't recognise their faces at all. So, but you're in the minority in college. You really are in the minority of students that we get that they need maths and English. So, do you want to book something in now, because diaries and things can get hectic?
When will work for us?
Or do you want to get back to me?
Yeah, if that's all right, actually.
Tuesday mornings are normally pretty good for me.
Right, okay.
I must admit, a Tuesday morning or a Friday is the only other time. Fridays are really good for...
Yeah, we're not in on Fridays, so it's a bit difficult.
So Tuesday morning. Mondays are out with teaching. We're quite chocolate.
Monday, Tuesday, probably around an hour.
Tuesday morning, isn't it? Is okay.
Wednesday's good.
Wednesday morning.
Yeah.
But after lunchtime.
We've got 1 hour on a Tuesday, more or less. And then
it's 10 o'clock on a Tuesday and then 10 o'clock on a Wednesday for an hour.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, that's fine.
That works fine with us.
Yeah,
so,
just let me know.
Yeah.